Once our wood acclimation process has been secured and we have our numbers and we know the wood is ready to be installed, our first step is to scrape the subfloor of any loose drywall, debris, glue, anything that may be stuck to the floor that would give us lumps underneath the flooring as we're installing it. Our next step is to make sure that the floor is planed, not level, but plane, that there's no humps in the seams. So what we do is we take a 6-foot level or screed and we apply it on the floor in all the seams. We see if we have any movement on the screed. In this video, you can see the screed moving up and down. This is an area that we're going to need to address. We'll do this by marking it off with some pencil lines on the seams and then coming back over it with one of our sanders, specifically an edger, and using a 36 grit or another heavy grit paper to remove that high hump. Once all of our seams have been checked and we know the floor is flat and planed, all of the scraps and dirt has been removed, we go over and do a very thorough vacuuming. The purpose of this and the importance of this is to make sure that any adhesives that are used in installing any new flooring or subflooring will bond properly to the current subfloor. On this particular project, we're going to have to raise the subfloor up another 1/2 inch, so the hardwood will line up with the tile. We'll be doing this by applying another layer of 1/2 inch plywood, but before we do that, we have to find all of our joists. Here we're using tape to locate where the joists will be for when we apply our second layer of flooring. Our joists can be found by looking at the seams that are currently on the floor and finding nail heads. We then will take tape, place it along the walls, and put a pencil mark on it. We will double check our marks by using a tape measure, looking at the 16-inch marks to make sure that we have joists there. Once that has been done, we will start to lay our plywood. While laying out the plywood, we use an offset pattern. And it's very important that we do not have any of our new plywood joints lining up over top of our existing plywood joints on the floor. We will use a combination of glue, staples, and screws to ensure that there's no movement in the floor and there's no squeaks. When we screw the floor down, we know when we've hit a joist and when we've not. You'll see the screw head sink down a little bit into the wood if you've hit a joist. This is a very important step that we go back and ensure that all of those screws have hit a joist. If we fail to hit our joists, it could leave us with an unstable floor or squeaks in the floor that will later show up after time.